We have Catherine, the Princess of Wales, showing off her incredible style at the French state visit, a celebration in Monaco commemorating Prince Albert's 20th year on the throne. We also have Belgian National Day as well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Royal Fashion News, your place for all those who have a passion for royal fashion. And today is the best in work for July of 2025. We do it by months in the summer because usually we just don't have that many engagements to go over this time of year. And so it's always fun though to see what the royals are wearing because we did get a surprise state visit in July and we had a couple of big commemorations as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. We alternate between best and worst. And then at the end, I tell you what are my personal picks for best and worst of the month. So let's go ahead and get into the list. So first on the best dress list, guys, we have Queen Mary of Denmark in this bright red Max Mara jumpsuit. Unfortunately, this is no longer available, but I feel like the coloring really looks great on her. I love how bright it is. I feel like it's almost more into, if you have neon red as a color, I feel like it's a little bit more in that direction, but I feel like she really shines in it. I really like the jumpsuit. I did find a dupe, which I'll link down below in the description box. I do find this jumpsuit to be absolutely amazing and gorgeous. All right, guys, so next on the worst dress list here, we do have Charlotte Katsaragi of Monaco. I just hate most of the Chanel stuff she's in. I actually don't mind her look for these celebrations for her uncle, Prince Albert, but I find this to be sort of chunky, a bit matronly. I do like the Mary Janes, but not really the black with the light blue and white. I feel like the colors for her accessories should have been a bit more subdued. I feel like the starkness is not really all that flattering. So I did have a mixed feeling though, because this is not the worst look in the world by any stretch of the imagination. There is a worst one, but I'm also not a huge fan of it either. All right, guys, next we have Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She's in this suit combination here. So it's kind of like a little laid back, which is super nice and super easy. And I did find a dupe for the striped shirt, which is from Ralph Lauren originally. But I just found this to be like, I felt like this was comfort fashion, if that's a thing. Basically, it's not super exciting. It's not necessarily, you could say, wildly interesting, but there's a sweetness to it. There's a casualness to it. And it has sort of this great factor. She was visiting a NHS hospital in Gloucestershire where they have a cancer garden. She planted her flower named after her. And so I just thought that was really fantastic. Unfortunately, the blazer is no longer available either, but I do think this is a fabulous look, very casual chic. I think she's really hitting that casual chic mark. Okay, guys, for the worst dress, I do have to call out Queen Letizia here. I have seen this dress before, and I think I wanted to put it on the worst dress list and forgot, but of course she wore it again, so we get this great opportunity. So it is an Adolfo Dominguez dress. She has Magritte shoes on. And what I think really doesn't work about this particular look is kind of how elongated the structure of the waist is. I don't feel like it's super flattering on her. I think there's some women where this look would actually really work. I don't think Letizia is one of those people. It might actually work really well on Catherine because she has a very long torso. But I feel like for Letizia, she looks great when you can really cinch her in and really highlight, the tininess of her waist, but not like elongated this way. I don't feel like it particularly works for her. She's thin enough already. I don't think you need to maybe increase that illusion. So I just have to put this on the worst dress list. All right, guys. So next on the best dress list here, we have Princess Charlene of Monaco celebrating her husband's 20th year on the throne. They have their two twins there, and she is wearing this beautiful Oscar de la Renta dress. She has matched it with a pair of Gianvito Rossi pumps. And I do find this to be very beautiful, very flattering. Out of all the ladies there of the family, I feel like she looked the best. She really looked like the first lady of Monaco, and I feel like it was a fantastic look. She really did knock it out of the park. Okay, guys, so next on the worst dress list, and this is more because this is a wrinkled, horrid mess, and that is Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. She is visiting a hospital, And I actually really like the color blocking here. I had a really hard time with this because I wanted to put it on the best dress list or just leave it off entirely. But those pants, man, the wrinkledness of the pants is awful. The outfit is Natan, shouldn't be a surprise. And the shoes are GMV Rossi, which I do think are rather cute. Like, there's a part of me that really likes this ensemble. But then I see the pants, and if she could just choose pants that didn't wrinkle like a horrid mess, this outfit would have made maybe the best dress list. Because I like the casualness of it. I think the colors work really great on her. I like the shoes. But fabric choice, it's very important. I've been listening to Project Runway recently. Very interesting. So I do have to put this one on the worst dress list. So next on the best dress list, we have Beatrice Borromeo, and she is at the recent Dior fashion show in July and at the celebrations for Prince Albert, who is her uncle-in-law. Her husband is Pierre Katsaragi. Her mother-in-law is Princess Caroline of Monaco. So I am putting both of these looks together because I think they're super sweet. She's expecting her third child. She recently turned 40. And so I think these are lovely, perfect looks for an expecting mama. I think they're darling and sweet, and I really love them. There's nothing like super exciting about either of them, but at the same time, it's like, this is what you need to be going for. I do love these looks. She's one of my favorite style people to watch in the royal world, particularly because she works with Dior, and I love Dior clothes. I was actually looking through their dresses to see if this particular one is on their website. I think these were both kind of custom creations. And her stuff's just amazing. It just is. So I think this looks absolutely fabulous. And I have to give it a huge brava. So guys, next on the worst dress list, we have to give it to Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, in this kind of very frumpy looking Susanna London dress. Sophie goes for them a lot. But to be quite honest, guys, I don't think they're up to the challenge of a dress for a state visit. I didn't say this last time because I'm trying to think. I criticized Sophie when I did a whole review of the whole fashion looks from the state visit, but I do want to reiterate again. Sophie has used Susanna London for these events a couple of times, and I feel like when I see those looks, they're very underwhelming. They're just not really up to, I would feel like, the standards of this level of event. They don't really have the drama, and they're not really, I don't think, sophisticated. Like, this dress is a little short. It just does not feel like a dress that is meant for a state banquet. So again, I had to put this on the worst dress list. I also hate how it gathers in front of her stomach because it gives her a bit of a stomach, and I just don't think it's the best look. So again, on the worst dress list here. All right, guys, next on the best dress list here is a mango dress, a Queen Letizia debuted last year. I still love this dress. It is both refined yet incredibly sexy at the same time. I actually got this original dress which came with a long sleeve that Letizia removed. So one of the sleeves was long on this dress. She removed it, and I feel like she elevated this thing 150%. Like, this was not an expensive dress, but it's just so sleek and sophisticated. This is quintessential Letizia because she has this figure that's fantastic that she can really highlight this particular sleek look with. There are very few royal women who I think could actually pull this off, and she does it impeccably. It's absolutely fantastic. I love this dress. All right, guys, next on the worst dress list here, we have Princess Caroline of Monaco. And this look is not bad, but I feel like she's a little decade or two old for this particular dress. I don't feel like it's super flattering either. And it sort of lacked a sophistication that we usually often see from Caroline. It feels like something that her daughter would wear. And by her daughter, I mean like Princess Alexandra, who's in her 20s. It just doesn't seem like a dress that really works for Caroline, in my very humble opinion. Like, she looks fantastic in it. She's in great shape. But I just feel like it's a little too young for her. I hate to say that, but that's my honest thought there. And guys, I forgot to mention that this look is Chanel. All right, guys, next on the best dress list, I have to give it to Queen Matilda of the Belgians in this absolutely gorgeous Elie Saab jumpsuit. She wore this earlier this year. I named it as my best look of the week, and I still love this look. There is a look that is better than this particular one, but I feel like it's really glamorous, it's really chic, and it's perfect for a queen. I just absolutely love and adore this jumpsuit. If I could have this jumpsuit, I definitely would. I don't know where I'd wear it, but do I want it? Oh, heck to the yes. All right, guys, next on the worst dress list here, we have to give it to Queen Letizia of Spain. And this is sort of an interesting conundrum because do I not like this dress? No, I think the dress is perfectly fine in a lot of ways. However, she's like attending a military event. And granted, yes, it is summer, but this seems way, 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 way too casual for the particular event. Her daughter is more well dressed than she is, in my humble opinion. Queen Letizia has this sort of interesting thing where she can really, I think, dig a little too deep into the casual summer wear. One year, she even had a cutout dress. And while she has an amazing set of abs for sure, it's just not really queen appropriate. And I feel like I have to put this one on the worst dress list, not because it is an actual bad look, but it's inappropriate for the occasion. And again, in my very humble opinion. But I mean, this was like a formal military event. Her husband was in uniform. Her daughter, who is serving, is in uniform. And her other daughter looks more professional in this particular situation than she does. I think there are occasions to wear this dress that is perfectly appropriate. But given the occasion, I think she should have stepped up her game a little bit here. This was just way too casual. All right, guys, so next on the best dress list here, we have Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden. And I actually really love this pattern dress from her. I'm not always a fan of her insane love of patterns, but I think this one is sort of, it's toned down a little bit with the soft blue. This is a Camilla Thulin dress. She has a Bottega Veneta clutch on and her Gianvito Rossi pumps. She is attending an event celebrating the 800th anniversary of Visby Cathedral. So I do think this look has a nice, sleek sophistication to it. I like the style of the dress, the wrapness element to it. I think it's a good silhouette for her. So overall, I do sort of like this. I do have so much criticism, though, about Victoria's hair. It always feels like it's so, you can't really tell it here in this picture, but her hair looks like immensely damaged. Like, I don't know, like she over fries it or something. I don't quite understand. Either way, though, I think this is a nice look from her, and we don't always see that, so I have to give her a bravo. All right, guys, so next here we have the ladies of Spain. And while these outfits aren't the worst by any means, I feel like for Leonor here, Princess Leonor, she is wearing this crochet top, and it's technically see-through. Like, she would have to herself put something on underneath to avoid it being totally see-through, which I'm sure she's doing, but I honestly think it's just not a great idea as a royal to have that bit of illusion in place. I think it's much better to sort of avoid those type of things. Like, and she knows she's being photographed. They're at an official event, like sort of casually, but they are like there officially as well. So I think for her, like the best thing that she could do is to not wear something like that. I'm just so sorry. Save that for like when you're out with your friends or something like that. But when you know you're being photographed, when you know you're there, they're at a film festival sort of representing the royal family, I think she should leave that particular mango top at home. And Sophia looks fine in the black dress there, which is also mango. It's on sale. It's still available from what I can tell. So are sizes in Leonor's top. And then we have Letizia and Carolina Herrera. So these aren't the worst, but definitely when it comes to Leonor, just as a young woman, that is a fun shirt to hang out with friends with. But if you're sort of on an unofficial, official royal engagement, best to leave that particular illusion at home, in my humble opinion. All right, guys, next we have the ladies of Belgium for Belgian National Day. And we have Queen Matilda in this beautiful Naytan ensemble. Her daughter, Princess Elizabeth, the future queen, also in Naytan. This caped dress, I actually think is really, really lovely. I love the color. I think it's a bit of a surprise and fun, this lime green. And then their younger daughter is in Diane von Furstenberg. So this is Princess Eleanor. So I really do like all these looks. I think they're absolutely fantastic. for the event, and I think they represent the Belgian family very, very well. So, bravo, ladies. A great showing for Belgian National Day. All right, guys, next on the worst dress list, it's Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden on her name day, I believe this is. And like this dress, it's not the worst, but it's not great. And she pairs it with this horribly ugly pair of earrings that when I tried to search for them, I literally kept coming up with Etsy stuff. It's just, uh, not, her style. It hurts. It hurts because she had this period sort of right around her wedding that she just looked phenomenal, fantastic fashion choices, but I think she's choosing her own stuff and she just doesn't have an eye for fashion. Not everybody does. I feel like she is a fantastic royal to watch in action. I've loved photographing her at events because she's very expressive, but I feel like this dress is eh. It's just eh. I think the choice of earring could have helped this dress be a little better here because those earrings must be burned. They just must be burned. They're terrible. All right, guys. So next we have Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, in this Prada dress as she visits Bosnia and Herzegovina to mark the 30th anniversary of the Srebrenica genocide. So this was in Sarajevo. And so I think Her Royal Highness looks very lovely in this shirt dress. I feel like it's very appropriate for the occasion. It's a bit understated. And I feel like it looks really, really good on her. She has some espadrilles on. So maybe she could have elevated the look a bit with a different pair of shoes, something more structured, as this is actually a rather expensive dress. But overall, I feel like it's a really good look and a really great for the event that she is commemorating as well. All right, guys. So next on the worst dress list here, we have Charlotte Katsaragi of Monaco in this Chanel ensemble. And it's just all sorts of bad and weird. We have that, like, it almost looks like postcards or maybe perfumes or something that are the decor of the dress. Then we have this chunky black belt, these Mary Jane pumps. Like, what the heck is this thing? I just do not understand it. I don't know why Chanel puts her in these horrible ensembles like all the time. She's a brand ambassador for them, but every time I see it, I'm like, I don't want to buy Chanel clothes. That's what her outfits almost always scream to me. And I feel like this one is just absolutely the same. I don't like it. Her mom actually, I think, although the print is a little loud, I feel like her mom wears it really, really well. So I feel like Princess Caroline looks great here. But Charlotte, no, 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 no. Just no. I think in a solid, this would have looked okay, but the weird print, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get Chanel clothes. Not my thing. All right, guys, I tried to avoid doing this, but I made a boo-boo. So we are now putting Charlotte on the best dress list because I do like this mini dress from Chanel. I wish they would put her in more things kind of like this. It looks like a knit short dress here. I think it's youthful. I don't want to say sophisticated because that's not totally it, but I feel like it works for the event. I like the shoes. I think this is a really, really good outfit, great color for her. And I wish they would put her in more things that look better than what they put her in all the time, which is awful stuff. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, yeah, I got a sigh, but we are getting now down, guys, to, I believe, our final choices. Now, I'm sure you all are wondering what were the best looks or look of July 2025. And I feel like I tipped my hat a bit here because for the month of July, my favorite look/looks were Catherine, the Princess of Wales at the France state visit. I love both of these ensembles, although I feel like I'll give a bit of an edge to Dior here because I do feel like this is a definite departure from Catherine in terms of the brand and designer. She has worn similar silhouettes before, actually quite a bit this year, but I was so excited that she chose to go with Dior, which she's never done before, and I feel like the look really, really worked. I felt like there was a sweetness to it. I really liked the mixing of the blazer and the skirt. I felt like it was really, really appropriate. She also wore a hat, and I like the hat as well. It was a bit different though, because we could see the band that was keeping the hat on her head. We usually don't see that. So that was a bit of a change, but I do feel like both of these looks were excellent. I especially like that she went with color, a strong color for the Givenchy dress, which was designed by Sarah Burton. And I feel like that really, really worked. It was somewhat understated in some ways, but I feel like it was definitely very, very elegant, moved exceptionally well, and was a really, really great choice. I can't wait to see what she wears next month for the state visit from Donald Trump. So we had that to look forward to in September, but I just do have to say, love both of these looks. They were my favorite looks of the month. And when it comes to her Wimbledon looks, I have mixed feelings about. Obviously, the self-portrait one looks exceptionally similar to one she wore a couple years ago. And I just really wasn't a huge fan of, golly, what was even the designer now? I can't remember because it was kind of a bit of a surprise. So let me double check here and make sure I have my designers right. She was wearing a Roxanda dress, and I just didn't like the two-tone in the blue. I thought that was a little odd on the skirt. So I just wasn't a huge fan of that. And I feel like the looks from the French state visit were marvelous and deserve their spot at the top. But who's on the bottom? Well, it might be a bit of a surprise and maybe somebody you're not familiar with yet. And by far the worst look of the month, no surprise, if you are sort of versed on your royals, is Princess Delphine of Belgium in this horrifically awful look at me, look at me, look at me ensemble. So there's a bit of a story here, and I feel like this sort of colors everything she does. So Delphine is technically the illegitimate child of King Albert of Belgium. She sued to get a royal title. She did achieve that. And so ever since then, I feel like she just wants people to pay attention to her. She has a royal title and wants to be treated like the half siblings in her family, but she just simply is not. That's just not how royals really work. And so when it comes to events like this, she has to wear the loudest, most obnoxious ensemble humanly possible because she needs attention. And there was even a bit in Belgium where she was actually trying to become a working royal. And of course, the government's like, no, we don't really need you. The current king, King Philippe, who is the son of Prince Albert, has 4 children. Belgium is a small country. Delphine is not needed. And she really, I feel like, took advantage of this wonderful opportunity she's been given and has been radically ungrateful ever since. She keeps wanting more and more and more. And at events like this, again, I feel like she tries to choose the most humanly obnoxious thing possible. I mean, she even has freaking heart sunglasses on because, somebody needs to pay attention to this woman. Heaven forbid nobody is paying attention to this woman. So, anyways, I am not a fan of Princess Delphine, as you can tell, and I feel like she comes across as really immature and needy. You can actually be very sophisticated here. I get it. She's an artist. She's a bit avant-garde, but I don't feel like that's what's coming through here. I feel like we have a pouty child who desperately wants attention and wants validation that she probably honestly won't get because she is a half sibling to the full blood siblings of the royal family. So she should just be happy with her royal title, her family, and just sort of move on. But again, I feel like she's needlessly pouty and whiny, and this outfit just screams, I desperately need attention. Heaven forbid nobody is looking at me because I need people to look at me. It's not an attractive quality and definitely not an attractive quality in a royal. Ergo, she is the worst look for July and perhaps the entire year at this point. I think she's a strong contender for that position. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really, really enjoyed it. And I have to say, I just really love Catherine's look for the state visit. Of course, Queen Letizia in her power dress rules as well. And of course, Queen Matilda in her jumpsuit too. But we also have some disappointing bits as well. So guys, let me know what you think of my choices. Was I right? Was I wrong? I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall speak to you again very soon. Bye.